The business of being a righteous person is complicated by one particular habit, and it's gooning. What we had originally thought is a harmless pastime turns out to be one of the biggest sins that we are committing. But where in the Bible does it say masturbation is bad? Why is it bad? And if it is bad, how can we stop doing it? So let's find these answers together so we could be all righteous in the eyes of God. So first things first, where in the Bible does it say gooning is bad? As I've done very little research in the internet, the first article I came across says nothing specific in scripture about masturbation. It looks like we could all goon, guys. Yes sir, never mind the rest of this video, start gooning. But it can't be that simple. When I was little, I was taught this was bad. So I went in a little deeper on different articles. When they talk about scripture, there's one specific story that they bring up, the Onan in Genesis 38, 9 and 10. But Onan knew that the child would not be his, so whenever he slept with his brother's wife, he spilled his semen on the ground to keep from providing offspring for his brother. What he did was wicked in the Lord's sight, so the Lord put him to death also. We need to look more. Where more in scriptures does it say about masturbation? Well, it's kind of in between the lines. So the first one I have here is 1 Corinthians 7 and 4, which says the wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. And likewise, the husband does not have authority over his body, but the wife does. Your sexuality is reserved for marriage and your body belongs to your spouse. Okay, okay. Galatians 5:16, walking in the spirit means denying the desire of our flesh. That makes sense, I guess, you know. Galatians 3:5, put to death therefore whatever belongs to your earthly nature, sexual immorality, impurity, lust, evil desires, and greed. Our connection with Jesus means that we must kill our impulse for sexual immorality. It does make sense that if that's the case, we shouldn't really be masturbating, according to Paul. At least we have to look into early teachings on masturbations. Clement of Alexandria, he actually gives out what you shouldn't be doing. But marriage is the desire for the procreation of children, not the disorder exertion of semen. So I guess it is bad, but why is it bad? And I looked deeper into that with the Catholic Church. What does the church really talk about masturbation? What I've seen is this thing. God designed sexual expressions to unite a man and a woman together. Okay, we all know that. Consequently, masturbation is a sin against the sixth commandment. Okay, what is the sixth commandment? I'm sure it is what? Don't commit adultery? Nope, I was wrong. It's thou shalt not kill. What? What do you mean thou shalt not kill? You're telling me I'm committing genocide every time I release my kids? Oh wow, that's kind of crazy. Okay, so I found out that in the Catholic Church, the sixth commandment for them is thou shalt not commit adultery. Okay, so it's not, you're not killing your kids. You're not committing genocide. So I need to clear that up. I read the article to make it, to hear the full context. Masturbation, whether within marriage or outside of marriage, is an act which one turns selfishly inward. Any sexual activity has to be towards your spouse, not for your own pleasure. Here's the biggest issue. You've been gooning this whole time. How can you stop gooning? Of course, the first thing I'm always gonna say is pray, pray, pray. Let's say you've been praying for this for months and nothing has changed. I read a book called The Power of Habits, and you can't really stop a bad habit. You have to replace it with a good habit. So in order for doing that, you get a tick. So you get an urge or something. So when you get that urge, instead of gooning, you do jumping jacks, you do push-ups, sit-ups, anything. Or it doesn't even have to be that. It could be chewing gum. It could just be doing something that is not gooning. And every time you get that tick, you start associating that tick with working out, with doing whatever, anything that's not gooning. However, do not replace a bad habit with another bad habit. So if you get the urge to beat your meat, don't start drinking alcohol. Don't be smoking weed, you know? It has to be something positive, so you stop thinking about it. So every time you get the same tick, you don't goon. That is what I recommend if praying is not working for you. Learning all these things just got me more like crazy, because now I know. I never knew masturbation was a bad thing. Now I know. This all makes sense, because if you masturbate more than sleeping with your wife, then you're gonna mess up the marriage. And if you're watching porn more than sleeping with your wife, porn could damage the marriage. So you have to deny your flesh, try to start a new habit, and from there, hopefully it all works out. Now tell me, what do you think?